Welcome to another edition of the Rhode Island Veterans Information Network. I'm your host, Bert Quineri, and my co-host, as usual, is back from out of town, General Jim D'Agostino. And today we have a very special guest. Her name is Karen Iris. I met Karen last week at a veterans luncheon, and she put on a beautiful display of some of the quilts that she made. And I had such a good time. I asked her to come on the show, and she agreed. And so she's going to come on, and she's here. But let me just read you this one little thing from her card, and we can get going after that. It says, our mission is to cover service members and veterans touched by war with a comforting and healing quilt of valor. Do you know a veteran or service member touched by war? Nominate them and let us wrap them in their own comforting and healing quilt of valor. And I think that's just a beautiful sentiment. So Karen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Say hi to Jim.
Hi, Jim.
Karen.
Nice to meet you.
All right. So last week you told us about the quilts of valor. I'd like you to start off the way you did, and we'll go from there. If we have any questions, we'll ask them.
Sounds
all right?
good. Quilts of Valor started in about 2003 by a woman named Catherine Rogers, who had a son who was deployed in Iraq. And while he was overseas, she just had dreams on a regular basis, some good, some bad, but one of them that recurred often was that she felt if she could put a quilt over an injured soldier, that it would help their recuperation and recovery. And so she was working with the doctors and the chaplain at Walter Reed, and went back frequently because they didn't quite agree with her theory. And like any good woman, she has mosquito tactics, so she just kept going back and asking again. And at one point, they allowed her to drape a young man who had lost a leg, who was from the Midwest. And she sat by his bedside, talked to him, encouraged him, said, we know that things may be rough right now. It'll get better. We thank you for your service. And from then on, he was able to sort of change his attitude, change his way of thinking about things, and moved forward and did recover. Wonderful. And so she went home and talked to her friends who were quilters, and quilters talked to quilters. And so I'm one of about 700, and I'm the leader of one of 750 groups. And there's between 10 and 11,000 quilters who are working every day throughout the year across the country. And so we do our best to coordinate the process and make sure that if we receive a nomination, we make sure that that veteran is draped with a quilt of valor.
Now, you're in charge of a section of women just in Rhode Island. Is there more than one here, or you wear?
I kind of wear two hats.
Yeah.
So I think the most important hat is I am the group leader for Quilts of Hope Rhode Island, which exists because of the Seabees. They adopted us when I asked about it. I think Joe's wife decided before she told him he was going to do it, but we're there. And we've been sewing there for 2 years now. We have the keys to Hut 3, so we're the girls from Hut 3. There's about 12 of us that work together. Sometimes the quilt is made by one person. Sometimes there's 3 of us that will work on it at different points. But extending from that, we have another group that's up in the Cumberland area called Stitch in Heaven. And then I'm the state coordinator. So as nominations come in, they come to me, and then I can assign them to my group or to the other group. So
How many have going at once usually here?
how many sewing?
Yeah.
There's 12 of us sewing all the time at
All the time?
Hut 3, yeah.
No kidding.
I've got probably a backlog now of about 6 that I have to get on my long arm. So a quilt by itself, quilters just say we buy perfectly good fabric and we cut it up and then we just put it back together again with different colors and different shapes and sizes. And so we're always working.
Yeah.
And as we award a quilt, we basically tell our audience and our recipient that it has a meaning behind it. So we say that the pieces of the quilt, with its colors and shapes and sizes, represents the communities, the neighborhoods, the church neighborhood, the schools, the people that you visited and met in other countries. We're the community. All of those shapes and pieces are all of the people that you're involved with. And then the batting, the warmth is inside the top and the bottom. The batting is the warmth. It keeps you supported. And then the backing is the foundation. It holds it all together. And then the last piece is the binding that goes all the way around, and that's our quilty hug.
Wow.
Do you make a lot of them that are religious?
Never religious.
Never.
No, because we don't always know who's going to
Yeah.
get the quilt.
All right.
And so it's important for us to try to stay somewhat neutral.
Okay.
We do make them branch specific, but our ruling is that if one person's going to get a branch specific one, then everybody that's getting one that day gets one. If, like this particular picture that you're seeing on the screen now, if one person
beautiful.
gets a panel,
This one here.
then everybody
Yeah,
gets a
it's
panel.
gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
So this is another one that maybe could be Navy, could be Marines. We're thinking it's specifically Navy, but it's another representation for somebody who has served, and we want them to be able to think fondly of their experience in that branch.
You use a lot of red, white, and blue, right?
We tend to use a lot of red, white, and blue, but like this particular one is blues and yellows, and it has a totally different feel to it, different
it
color
is.
scheme. Oops, not so high. Let's open it up a little
Want to
bit.
open some of it?
This one is called the Carpenter Square.
There, give me that.
There we go. Okay. So for anybody who knows anything about quilting, that's half of it at least.
There you
You don't have to have red, white, and blue.
go. Right.
No.
This one was really kind of neat in that it could go for any branch. Doesn't really
Oh,
matter.
yeah,
Doesn't
right.
really specify it. The important part for us is to make sure that we don't push any buttons for people.
Yeah.
And so as we go through, we'll get to the bottom of the quilts that are on the rack, and we'll show you our hut quilt, because that basically is one that says, welcome home.
Oh.
We're glad you're here.
Right.
But I wouldn't, it's the very bottom one, Joe. This is oops, that's okay. That's the one we want to see.
Oh, okay, that's beautiful too.
So this is the one that we have hanging in the hut all the time, and I fell in love with it. The panel just talked to me when I found it at the store, and the girls the girls that were with me really weren't thrilled with it. They just didn't think it was necessary or appropriate.
Really?
And I just had to have it, and I'm sorry now I didn't buy all of them that were at the store,
Oh.
because I love it, and I've
Gorgeous.
had a lot of people that enjoy it. The hard part is if I don't know who's getting it, I can't drape it on every soldier, because many people didn't come back to that scenario. Young men got Dear John letters,
Yeah.
or severely injured, or
Yeah.
families
No, that's
that
true.
fell apart because dad was gone and didn't come back.
Yep.
And so it's a very special quilt, and
is.
that's kind of our goal and our mission, is to say welcome home.
Yeah,
And then it comes with a big thank you.
that is gorgeous.
So
Now, something like that, what would be roughly the total amount of time put in by a person? I mean, does one person do all of that? Or
this particular quilt I did do.
you did the whole thing?
I did the whole thing from start to finish, and it probably took me a week or so to piece it, to take the pieces and get it all together so
yeah.
it looks like that. But then I had to be able to take it and put the backing on it and put it on my long arm and
Oh, my
quilt
God.
it. So my long arm is about 10 feet long and about 5 feet wide, and it has a sewing machine that runs on rails that stitches as I move it across left to right, and then go back to the beginning and start again. So there's a number of rows on that. And you don't see the pattern on it, the actual quilting. Joe, if you were to flip back to see the back of it, if you take the corner of the quilt and raise it up, you'd be able to see the actual design on it.
Wow. I mean, it's just mind-boggling, the amount of
Oh,
effort.
just take the bottom.
Oh,
You could do
just
that too, but if you just take the bottom and lift it
pick
up.
it up.
Yeah. So the one thing about this one that we liked is that it's all hearts interwoven.
Oops.
Oh, wow.
Wow. That's a lot of work.
Oh, that's,
How the hell you do that?
Yeah, well, it's with the long arm. Now you can see on the left-hand side there, and then a little bit at the top, that the stitches are wonky. That's
Yeah.
another reason why I'd never be able to give it to somebody, because it's not perfect.
Okay.
So one of the rules for us is that
Use this as
they
a-
have to be 60 by 80 inches in size. We can go 55 by 75. We can go a little bit over, a little bit under. But the stitches have to be perfect. The tension has to be correct. The colors have to be, coordinated with the quilt itself.
Right.
We have to use good fabric. We don't use skimpy fabric that's going to wear out. We want to
Right.
make sure that it's quality and it's going to last.
Yeah.
And then we always wash it before we award it, because I have a cat that likes his time on those quilts.
Oh,
so
sure.
They have to go through the washing
Excuse me.
machine. The hard part too is that where the stitches can go bad, the washing can go bad.
Oh.
So colors will fade or run, and so we have a quilt. I don't have it with me, but it was all ready to go. And when I took it out of the washing machine, it had bled. So the red was in weird spots all around the place.
Oh,
Okay.
And
God.
so that was a problem. And then
All
I
that
tried it
work.
again, and I tried it again. I've washed it 5 times. I've ordered something that's maybe going to take the dye out. It's worth a try, because
Wow. Did
as it is right now, it cannot be awarded.
Wow.
It's
But
not-
did it get better? With
No,
the,
it got worse.
Okay, it got
So
worse.
I think what happened was that it was old fabric, and so it doesn't have quite the approach.
Right.
This
Another
one,
beautiful one. Yeah, tell us about this.
this is a panel that obviously looks at the continent of the United States.
Yep.
And it's for anybody who served with the United States military branches. The fun part about this one, in trying to put it together, is that it uses a very traditional block on the edges. So the blocks around the edge are called log cabin,
Oh,
and they are one of the more original quilt patterns. It's just a standard. And then typically the little red squares in the middle typically represent the heart of the home, the fireplace, so that many of them will have red in the center.
wow.
And then it's funny because the border, I was struggling with the border and couldn't find anything, and I found some fabric that had huge trucks on it. And I had made that, but I had pulled this border off of it, and it worked beautifully.
Wow.
And so the idea that land of the free is important,
Very important.
and so it worked.
Now, is every one of these like a surprise to the person, or can somebody ask for a theme on it, like the person who
Yeah. We
puts
try
in the-
not to have it as a surprise. That is one of the caveats,
Oh,
that
good.
it's not intended to be a surprise.
Okay.
And again, it goes back to that idea of we don't know the stability of folks. We know that they're strong, we know that they're courageous, but we don't know if we can push a trigger that might be
Right.
Right.
embarrassing for them.
Yeah,
and so we
exactly.
try not to do that. It's also not a gift, it's an award. It's considered a civilian award. And so to get a quilt, somebody needs to be nominated. So a relative of yours, a friend of yours could go to our website and fill out the nomination forms. That nomination will go to the foundation, and then the foundation sends it to the group leader who lives closest to the individual.
Where is the foundation headquarters?
In Wilsett, Iowa.
Iowa.
Yeah, right in the
Wow.
Midwest.
Wow.
And so everyone in the organization is a volunteer. There's like 3 people at the top that get a salary because they're doing a lot of heavy work,
Oh, yeah,
in
of
dealing with
course.
people and keeping everything
All over the
together,
country.
keeping everybody
You're
awarded.
dealing
Yeah.
with thousands of
Yep, absolutely.
volunteers, right?
There's 10 to 11,000 volunteers
That's amazing.
that are sewing, men and women.
Wow.
And sometimes a quilt can be done like ours, the ones here. I did a lot by myself, but then there's others that I might have done the top, somebody else would do the quilting, and then somebody else will do the binding. So we can keep it within our ranks if we need to.
Yeah.
But there's other states where they have such a backlog that they'll put in an all call for help.
Wow.
And we try to, when we can, we'll send quilts to somebody else.
Do you do any custom work? Like can I pay for something that if I wanted one that was like the size of a bedspread for a king-size bed or something?
I can do that. I have made many for gifts.
Yeah.
I don't have anything at my house that I've made because I just don't have time. And what I do make winds up getting given to somebody else
Yeah, of
because they need it more. But when you stop to think about a quilt, most people, if they are doing this as a business, will charge 2 cents per square inch.
Wow.
And so if you have a quilt that's 60 by 80, what do you do, multiply that together? That's how many inches you're going to have. And then depending on the difficulty of the quilting, the price goes up. And if it's custom, it goes up some more.
Of course.
And so it's not
Is that
inexpensive
just the face piece of cloth or the back one all together?
altogether.
Well, that's not bad. It could whack you from both sides, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
Say an inch, this is so many inches,
Yeah.
and the other ones too.
Yeah.
Put it together, and how are you?
yeah. It's
Then
crazy.
you need a mortgage.
Yeah. The other thing, going back to your question about surprise, we try not to do it at birthday parties. But one of the first ones that I did was for a gentleman who was 97 years old,
Oh, yeah.
a Marine.
Semper Fi.
Yeah, absolutely. He was on the end section of Iwo Jima.
Wow.
My dad was on the first wave. He was at the end, so they didn't cross paths. But he said when he got injured, and he turns and says everybody got injured on Iwo, so that's not a question. But then when he recovered, his injury was enough that he could go back into the field. They sent him to Normandy.
Oh,
So that's pretty amazing.
Really?
So bless
Wow.
his heart, he had to have a quilt. And
Of
so we
course.
made sure that he
Sure.
got it, but it was at a birthday party. And in many cases with a party, it's when your friends and relatives are here. And if it's a significant year, we did another one for a gentleman who was Coast Guard. It was his 95th birthday. People came from around the country.
of course.
So
Do
we
you
make it
go
very
and give
clear.
these, or
They're always personally awarded. You cannot buy them, and you cannot
no, I mean by you or somebody in the group, or?
to award it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Did
Yeah.
you go in January to Roger Desjardins' 101st birthday?
No, I did not go to his.
But because he got a quilt there,
Right.
and I must have a picture of it because I was there, but didn't dawn on me
Yeah, that
yet
quilt
about
came
who
from
she was.
Verizon.
I did
Organization.
one for a gentleman who lives up by around Federal Hill. And he was 103, Army. It was his birthday party. But the first thing, and I did mine first because I had to go to another event up in Foster. So I went from Federal Hill up to Foster, Rhode Island to do a presentation for 15. Dare to Dream Ranch up there
Oh,
does
yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
work with veterans, and so they were doing their annual fundraiser. So we were trying to get caught up with backlog, and so there were 15 people that received quilts that day.
Wow.
That was pretty cool. But Castor was 103, and it was at his birthday party. Had a lot of
I
people
missed
there.
this. I was out of town. Castor's the guy that comes up to Federal Hill
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
on
yeah.
the first Monday of the month. He's always there
Yep.
with his daughter. And I missed that one. But,
And often
yeah, he's
married
103.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Sharp.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
He really
But when
is.
we do a birthday present or birthday party, we very, very, very emphatically say, this is not a birthday gift.
Yeah,
Yes.
This is a civilian award
Exactly.
to thank you for your service. And so we make it, we want people to understand it's not a comfort quilt. It's not something that's
It's an award.
commonplace. It's an award. And with that, we do have a certificate for everybody.
Wow.
When we do it, can you see that? Everybody gets a certificate, and we present it as a part of the presentation. The veteran has already had the quilt draped over them.
Yeah.
And then I read this to them, and
Look at that, all perfect.
this was actually my dad's name. He died before I was doing this, so that's his. But I'll read it for you. It says, E5 David H. Gentis, United States Marine Corps, presented on 7 March 2026. The Quilts of Valor Foundation wishes to recognize you for your service to our nation. We consider it our privilege to do so. Though we may never know the extent of your sacrifice to protect and defend the United States of America, we award you this quilt as an expression of gratitude from a grateful nation.
That's beautiful.
It is
So-
beautiful.
So,
nice.
Yeah.
and then the best part of my job is that I don't know whether it's appropriate or not, but I get a hug from all of them.
There you
So,
go.
I
know,
think it is appropriate.
I think it's appropriate, but it's pretty special. And,
Fantastic.
every veteran that
And
we
you're
deal with
pretty
is.
special.
Thank you.
And your whole gang that does this.
They're wonderful people. They truly
God
are
bless you
wonderful
all.
people. So,
God
Yep.
bless you.
You're going to leave us some applications with Jim and I because we know several people who,
absolutely. So anytime we do this, when people come to the hut and there's kids that come in, I tell them this is your homework. You need to go to your principal and ask, are any of the teachers veterans? Or when you go to the doctors, ask if the doctor's a veteran. Or
Great idea,
the
yeah.
people at the churches or in the grocery stores. If
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know that they're a veteran, please nominate them. So you would go to qovf.org. That's our website. And across the top of the homepage, which is where you start, there's a red banner, red line. And the second theme or topic or whatever you want to call it is nominations and awards.
Oh.
So when you click on that, it takes you right to that section. There's some information that you need to read, and it's going to ask you if you've read it, and then it's going to ask you a couple of other questions, and then you
is
have
that
to...
it? Is that the good one on the screen right
Yes,
now?
it is.
Okay.
Yep. And
Wanna
so
make sure.
you also have to click and get through the gotcha, the little thing where you have to do the boxes with the pictures sometimes.
Oh,
It drives
yeah.
me crazy.
How many wheels are in this?
Yeah, right.
What's a motorcycle or a bus? Yeah, love it. So on the next page, though, once you pass that little hurdle, once you get to the next page, it's going to ask you, again, to make sure you understand the directions. And then we need the name of the veteran, the branch of service, the proximate years. When did they begin? When did they end? It doesn't have to be specific. Years and approximate areas of where they served. In general terms, it doesn't have to be specific, but the more that people give us, then the more we get a chance to talk about when we do a presentation.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple of other spots where, the biggest and most important piece is that they have to have been honorably discharged.
Yeah.
That
That's
is
good.
That is important. And then it goes on to asking for the
They
nominators'
don't have to be
information.
wounded or anything, do they?
Good point. Very good point. There's a big brouhaha sometimes in that there are some people who feel very strongly that if you haven't held a gun and you weren't in the trenches, that you are not entitled to it, and that's wrong.
It is wrong.
Everybody's job counts,
Exactly.
and everybody has to do their job to make the mission work.
I've seen cooks who get Bronze Stars because,
Absolutely.
something happened outside of the
Yeah, of
kitchen.
course.
And
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, so, I mean, we awarded Jane a quilt a couple of weeks ago. She had been basically a secretary at Paris Island, bringing people in as they were coming in and registering and getting ready to put on the uniform.
Yep.
She was there for 3 years, I think, but that counts. And then
course
she
it does.
got out, and when she got out, bless her heart, she devoted the rest of her life to working with the Marine Corps League.
Everybody
She did
plays
all
a
sorts of
part.
things for them. so-
Everybody plays a part. I always say that.
Yep.
It's not all about the guys in the trenches. I mean, everybody else, there's a lot of people who help them
Thank
do
you.
that.
Exactly.
And if they weren't around, they would be able to do what they're going to
Absolutely.
do.
Exactly.
Right?
The other group of people that are really important and that we're really trying to find now are the females.
Yeah.
So there are a number of Army nurses who, especially after Vietnam, all came back with a lot of disrespect. That's unfortunate, and that's the truth. And so we hope that this is going to work.
Did they ever find like a repeat? Like, suppose I put somebody in for it and they got it, and I didn't know it. And somebody else puts one in for
That same person.
Will that come up and they go, we got you one
We
already?"
try to make sure there are no duplicates.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
We
Yeah.
we have heard of a situation where somebody got nominated for one, and then for another, and then for another.
Oh, wow.
And we apparently the story was that he wanted one for each of his grandchildren. Well, wait a minute. It's for
You can
you
buy
and
'em
you
with
for
that.
your service. Now, it does become a legacy
Yes.
for those that are coming
Right.
behind, but it's one veteran, one
Exactly.
Do you
stint,
do
one
special
quilt.
Purple Heart ones or not?
We haven't yet.
No,
You know,
haven't
and a
been
lot of
asked
times
about
we
that.
don't know that, you know.
No, but if they ask you about it, then,
We could find a way to make it work.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The same with, there's a gentleman named Brian Fox, who's an artist out of Fall River, and he just did a beautiful art show. He had a show from about October through December, and I'm hoping he's going to do it again because I didn't get a chance to go, but he did the most magnificent painting of an Army nurse. And we've got a number of them that,
Really?
you know, came back with an awful lot of trauma. And after Vietnam, they wouldn't be accepted as a military individual. They weren't allowed attention. They weren't allowed care. And that's just not right. And
of course
so
not.
we
No.
have found, though, that with the quilt, and just somebody saying thank you, it's made a difference for them. And they wear that quilt with pride, you know. And
course.
we tell everybody, it doesn't go in a drawer and it doesn't go on the wall. If it's not on your couch or on your recliner, you're missing the hug. You know,
That's
we're
right.
there to keep you warm, and that's why we like to do the presentation, so that you get a chance to connect the person with the quilt
Right.
and the circle of just life and love.
good.
And it remains a constant reminder to them
Absolutely.
that they are loved and appreciated.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. And that's part of it. Like we don't know. And one of the things that we say is that, you know, though your friends and family may never be with you all the time,
Right,
Correct.
we want you to know that you're in our hearts.
exactly.
Is there something in here you want to say something about? You want me to
Well, a lot of
show
times
this?
people ask, is there a charge? Well, not to you.
No.
But this is a kit that I got not too long ago, and the kit itself is $150.
Wow.
And so that's one piece of it. That doesn't include the backing and the
Oh, my
and
God.
the batting. And so we have been very fortunate that there are people who are cleaning out their stash and will give us donations for fabric.
Oh, great.
We do have a QR code. We obviously accept donations.
Well, Karen, the old clock on the wall is telling
Oh,
us
no.
I'm sorry to say, we're running out of time. But in the minute that we got left, do you want to say something about the CB Museum
I
in
do.
Memorial Park?
So
I'll show the folks this, and you can talk about it, all right?
So the CBs adopted us. So we help them and they help us. And they're having a golf tournament in June, and we just want to invite you, let you know that it's happening. And there's information on this, and I guess they're going to put the information up on the website. So please try to join. We're going to have a quilt there as a silent auction or a raffle. I don't know exactly what, but it's going to be golf clubs. So it'll be part of the
Yeah, right.
part of the theme.
All right. Sorry. Thank you, Karen, for coming
You are
on.
most welcome. Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. And
Thank
tell
you.
everybody
Pleasure,
out
dear.
there, all our folks who watch the show, thank you very much. And as always, we salute you.